Now, in this part of KPIs and the key measures that you're looking at, I want to take you through how I look at kind of the data outside of Facebook as well. So if you've seen the video on Ads Manager and the key columns I'm setting up, actually when I'm doing my analysis, whilst I'm using Ads Manager, when I'm drilling down and looking at kind of key data, within the day, I'm also looking at high-level data outside of Facebook as well. And there's a few key reasons for this. Now, number one, Facebook doesn't have AOV built into it as well. So, AOV is one of those variables within e-com that, to some extent, you're at the mercy of how well your merchandising is working, what kind of products people are buying, etc. So, whilst you can work hard on managing CPA, the AOV can fluctuate, and sometimes it feels like things are going great, sometimes they're not so good, and that directly plays into your ROAS. So ultimately, you want your CPA to be lower than your AOV, and also you can't calculate your conversion rate in Facebook. So my purchase conversion rate is another key measure that I'm looking at, and also the percentage of people who are adding to cart, and then from adding to cart, what percentage is buying. So for an e-commerce store, you want to be seeing 15 to 20% adding to cart, and then from those that are in the cart, you want 20, 25%, maybe even 30% actually going off and converting. So these are really loose measures, but then I can also see the trend of what's going on. This data isn't yet available in Facebook, so by pulling this data out, I can then have a better idea of how these metrics are performing. So there'll be a separate video on how to pull that out and how to construct this kind of view in your spreadsheet, and I use Google Sheets for this. It is super simple, and you'll get to kind of find out how to do that. Now, when I'm looking at the key metrics, I've arrowed here the key ones that I'm looking at: CPA, purchase conversion rate, OV, etc., etc., etc. However, the top metrics that I would be looking at day to day are around CPA and purchase conversion rate, AOV, ROAS, and CPC. They're the 5 biggest things that will influence my decision on whether I need to go in and change something or whether I sit on my hands and just wait it out as well. Now, CPA is a measure of the cost per click and purchase conversion rate, which I'll come to, and then your AOV is a measure of your site merchandising, promotions, products, etc., etc. Purchase conversion rate is a measure of both your traffic quality and how well your site is structured as well. And don't discount the impact of quality traffic on how well your website is going to perform as well. Cost per click is all about the quality of your targeting and your creative and how well you're appearing in the auction as well. And in this example, you can see that this account, the CPC, has been on the increase, but at the same time, so has our purchase conversion rate. In this particular example, we've started to reach better quality customers, we're doing much better in the auction, and therefore our purchase conversion rate is a lot higher. And at the same time, our click-through rate has dropped, so we're not getting the clicks from people who are less likely to buy. You can see there's a direct inverse here between click-through rate and purchase conversion rate, so the quality of people we've reached is far higher. And also, the reason I like to look at this kind of view is by looking at the color trend as well. We as humans, our eyes adapt far better to color and kind of trends and patterns through color than we do individual numbers. So if this wasn't colored in, how quickly would you identify that this green has gone to red and that red has gone to green? It'll take you a bit longer to identify that actually there has been a switch over. And also scanning across, ultimately the best days will be where you've got green across the whole piece. We don't have any of those days here, but again, having the colors in place helps that so much better as well. Then the kind of secondary metrics I'm looking at are click-through rate, percentage adding to cart, and cart conversion rate. So these are kind of key things that I would be looking at on a daily basis to determine whether things are going well or not. And if my CPA is in target, and for this particular account, $35 is our kind of ceiling, and if it's below 35, then things are going okay. 34 is a bit close to the bone, and so I'd probably go in and look at campaigns and ad sets and see if there's any actions that need to be taken. But going back on some of these other days, it's probably about scaling, maybe looking at monitoring the account. So this just aids your day-to-day analysis.